Friends, welcome to my workplace at Ranaghat, West Bengal, India. This is a cataract with grade 4 nuclear sclerosis. The purpose of this video is to show how we can manage stuck haptics. In this case, while implanting the intraocular lens, the trailing haptic of the intraocular lens got stuck in the cartridge. Let us see how I managed the case. Before that, let us see the nucleus management. By this time, incisions have been made, rhexis has been done, and this is hydrodissection. Hydrodissection is done, the nucleus is tapped, and the nucleus is rotated. And now 2% SPMC is injected in the anterior chamber, and then the tip of the phaco needle is introduced. Some superficial cortical lens matter is removed, then the handpiece is turned to make the bevel up. And now watch the submarine chop. The exposed part of the tip is buried into the substance of the nucleus. It goes through the substance of the nucleus towards the opposite equator, and the nucleus is chopped. In this case, I rotated 90 degrees and chopped one heminucleus, and then held this quadrant and made it free. This is the other heminucleus. It was also chopped into two pieces. Now these pieces are large. Each piece is tilted and they are chopped again to smaller pieces. Ultrasonic energy used in this case is 75%. Flow rate is 45 ml per minute. Vacuum is 450 mm of mercury. The machine being used is Oakley Cataracts 3. And the antechamber is very stable. One heminucleus has been managed, and this is the other heminucleus, and this is the last piece. It is divided into smaller pieces. While emulsifying the last part of the nucleus, we can reduce the parameters. I usually reduce the parameters to 250, 30. Flow rate is 30 or 25, and vacuum is 250 or 300. So the nucleus and epinucleus has come out, and now little bit of cortex is there, and a small piece of nucleus is there. Before aspirating the cortex, remove this piece of nucleus, small bit, and then remove the cortex. This instrument is 23 gauge Simcoe cannula. While using the main incision, you must elevate the anterior lip of the main wound to decrease leakage of visco and maintain the anterior chamber. By this time, cortical cleanup is complete. And now the main part of the video. Visco was used to fill up the anterior chamber. The wound was enlarged little bit, which has not been shown. And now see the intraocular lens. It is placed in the cartridge. This is butterfly shaped cartridge. The trailing haptic is in the groove. The leading haptic is also in the groove. But see, the trailing haptic was not folded and it was projecting a bit out, and this is the reason it got stuck. So to prevent this stuck haptics, the trailing haptic can be folded and placed over the anterior surface of the intraocular lens. Then the trailing haptic will not be stuck as it was in this case. And now see what happens. As I inject the lens, the leading haptic goes in the capsular bag and I cannot release the lens. The lens is stuck. The trailing haptic is stuck between the wall of the cartridge and the plunger, the silicone plunger. So I take this lens tip knife, incise the wall of the cartridge. We have to hold the cartridge very firmly and it is incised. And now I incise the other side also. This can also be incised with a 11 number Bart Parker blade or the keratome. And now the haptic can be easily pulled out. Now I take a McPherson's forceps, hold the haptic near the haptic optic junction and gently pull it out. Yes, it is nicely released and it is not broken. It is being managed in this way, but better this doesn't happen. If we fold the trailing haptic and place it over the optic, this will most probably will not happen. Now the trailing haptic has been placed in the capsular bag. The visco was cleaned first by Simcoe and now it is being cleaned by the irrigating probe or bimanual IA. The capsular bag is nicely irrigated, the antechamber also irrigated, and then irrigation and aspiration are used together, and thus the visco is nicely cleaned. This is a bit of moxifloxacin. I'm using the moxifloxacin to hydrate the main wound as well as the sideboard. Since the main wound was stressed, I hydrated it, otherwise the main wound doesn't usually require any hydration. This is the final lavage of the anterior chamber. This is an edited video. The surgery took about 15 minutes. It has been edited to about 10 minutes. And now the integrity of all the wounds are checked, and then few drops of moxi is applied over the ocular surface, and the case is concluded. Thank you very much for your attention. Hope this video will give you some ideas to get rid of such situation, to overcome the problem of stuck haptics.